meeting is always a possibility. Communication is a possibility, and it is people like you, who are in this media, that you're a bridge between what we want to say silently in a little room, in a little office, in a little part of our home, and we want to speak to all Vizagites because we love our city. And everybody who comes in starts loving the city. So this is an enjoyable thing to do, and COVID-19 had no effect on that part of our lives.
Oh, that's great to hear. Okay, so let's come to the point. Like tomorrow is a big day for Visakhapatnam. I feel in that way. And after 14 years, we having elections in Visakhapatnam. After 14 years, I think we don't have a corporator. We don't have a mayor for 14 years. I think we lost every year 100+ crores because we don't have a proper administration, right? So that's what I feel. So give your comments on this thing.
Well, I feel that it's important for public to be represented, one, and as they say, better late than never. So it's good that we are getting back into this type of politics, this type of administration of the city. There are good things about it. There are bad things about it. The good things about it is that we have a voice inside GVMC. Not that we didn't have a voice earlier. We did have a voice earlier. We were talking to the executive of the organization, to the commissioner, her very able assistants and engineers, and the whole administration. The health officials, we were talking to everybody. We, meaning I was talking to everybody, I and my friends, I know that. And a lot of it, they had a lot of resonance and things would get done. Now we have another layer between us and them, but that's not bad. That is good, because this layer of people have got a few key people who are our people, Manawal and Mata. They will represent us to the corporation. And we hope that there is a unified message from as many corporators as possible, whether they are of this party or that party. It hardly matters, and more what matters is that they are of the party belonging to the city, the citizens, and they look after our interest best.
Okay, so that's what that matters. Now we are not worried about which party will come and everything. The only thing we are concerned is like the city should be green and clean with all the necessary amenities.
Absolutely.
Because this city is growing very fast, and our population, our traffic, everything is increasing. So that's what it matters. Whoever comes to the chair, so they should take care of all these issues. That's what we all should request the next coming mayor or the new team. Okay. Right. In your view, what are the civic issues that are plaguing in Vizag? Like, what are the civic issues that are pending?
Well, this will be an unfortunate time to really comment on the issues that are pending, because our city has been going through so much rebuilding, in the sense that therefore there was a long gap in between. So we saw an unfinished city for a long period of time. But now that it has got restarted, people are working very hard from the smart city group, and I hope that works will be sped up. But there are some continuous issues. There are always, I feel that there are some issues that have to be dealt with here and now, which is very important for the public. But there are issues that have to be dealt with on a continuous basis over a long period of time. Those issues are also as important as the issues that we are dealing with here and now. We are talking in terms of 5 years, 10 years. Roads will get better. Of course, at the same time, the traffic will keep increasing. There is electrification of vehicles going on. So in each sector, technology and management is playing a part. GVMC has done a good job. Now we have corporators. There is a big question mark in the minds of public like me, and I'm sure many like me who have the same feeling, is that whether these corporators are prepared for the management challenges of the city in the years to come. Some people say you're being very utopian. How do you expect that to happen? That suddenly people will come overnight, take positions of importance, and
Yeah.
suddenly know everything. That is difficult. So we hope that they will interact with us strongly, us meaning with the community.
Community.
Everything is being done, interact with us, and keep us as a partner when you are taking decisions.
Yeah. So I heard that like we have 4,000 crores of budget for GVMC. Is it is the right
I,
news?
I've also been hearing those numbers, but
Yeah.
unless we do a little deep dive, we will not be able to get to the bottom of it. We certainly
Okay.
have to know the correct figure, and we are, as good citizens, we should know where the money is going.
Yeah. So because we are paying a lot of taxes. I think in Andhra Pradesh, Vizag is the richest district, which pays highest tax to the state and central, right?
I think if we are get taxed at higher and higher levels, beyond a certain point, the Vizag's corporation may become rich, but not the poor.
Not the people. Yeah. True.
So the
Okay.
point is that there is a fine point in which it has to be thinking how much do you tax and how much do you give in return to the public, and the
Yeah.
public's perception must be that yeah, it has been worth it, and this our corporation, our corporators, our mayor, our deputy mayor, that all of them have played a good part in giving us a good quality of life in the city.
Yeah. And it's coming to the development. Who is responsible? Is the citizen or the corporator? Who is the responsible person?
You know, when many of you run companies and you have been in various organizations,
Yeah.
so when you hire a good management group to look after your factory, of
Yeah.
course your vision counts, that you want the factory or the great marketing operations to run successfully and profitably and for a period of time, for enough to leave behind for next generation. We always start thinking a little differently. That type of thinking is important. And in that case, in a corporation, if somebody does well, they get rewarded. And if they don't do well, they don't get rewarded. That is an incentivization from the owners. In this case, in our corporation, we must work out a system of judging our corporators. I'm sorry to be mentioning this so early in the game, but to judging each of our corporators in their performance over maybe 10 parameters or so, which can be easily defined. Now with IT, people like you who are driving the IT media as such, it is a good time for us to give a feedback to
Yeah.
our operators about how well they are performing and give them suggestions on which areas to improve. We know they'll all be busy. There will be a lot of political pressures. There will be very little time. There will be a lot of complaints. This is a great challenge, and that is why we are electing the best people to take up this challenge.
Yes. Okay. So we all tomorrow we are all going to vote, right?
Yeah.
So on what basis we should vote in GVMC elections? On party base or a candidate base?
I think you already know my answer to that. I'm very apolitical,
Yeah.
and I feel that finally the boss is the people. We who are residents, who pay taxes, who are responsible citizens, who are ready to help the government, we are the bosses. So I feel that it doesn't matter which party, but unless their ideology is so radical, which is
Yeah.
not. Most of the ideologies are similar. City must improve. So it doesn't matter who it is. I would think of it as any party will do. It is the person in this case, and not the party. And even when I say that it is the person, I say that there should be the person who comes into these roles. They might be excellent politicians. They might be very good, managers. At the same time, this is the time for them to acquire new skills and new knowledge, which was probably not there with them earlier. Different type of politics was in play. Now the politics has to change because the driving force of making cities great again, is there. So that new challenges must be taken up by different breed of people, not different meaning, not that they know, but they should earn that knowledge as they go along. And we as citizens should help them.
Yeah. So in this point, I have a small doubt. So mostly we are all educated, right? So we know how does the democratic country functions, what is our rights and what we should do in this for this country, right? So why we have very less voting every time? Like the maximum voting goes only for 50%. Why people doesn't come out on tomorrow, like the election day, and give at least half an hour to 1 hour time to improve the society or the community or the city? Why they are not able to give the time 1 hour time to vote?
It's absolutely important that we all give time and vote. We know that. And why? I'll tell you the reason why. There are some reasons which are giving that this is our franchise. We are Indians. We take a part in the future of our city. We have to shape our destiny. They say Vizag is a city of destiny, but we have forgotten what the destiny is, because it's for 50 years we have been saying the same slogan. But now it is time not only to talk about destiny, but to get to the destination.
Yes.
And what is there at the destination? We must have some vision, and I would very much like citizens to be involved in this activity.
Yeah. So I wish tomorrow our percentage of voting will be much better than early years. I think. I hope it will do that.
I really think you're right, because our little GVMC was very little before. 14 years ago, it was a tiny in comparison. Now city has grown. It's such a vast geographical
98 watts.
And the number of wards and the huge spread of geography, the different type of people that stay here, those in business, people who work, people who do agriculture, people who are doing trading. So it's a huge type of a population. So I guess there is a need for what were you saying? I mean, for some sort of a understanding of how this whole thing is going to work as far as communities are concerned. I feel that communities become an important issue at this time.
Okay.
I don't know whether I asked a question. Somewhere in the middle, I lost track of the question.
Okay, fine. So Vizag is announced as a smart city. I think is the second city it was announced in the country.
Yes.
Yeah. So as a smart city, what more the state government should do to fulfill the people's aspirations?
As you know, if you see the antecedents of the smart city movement, for Visakhapatnam, it became important when after Hudud. It became very important. And at that time, there was very clearly defined four structures of that: education, health, administration, transportation. The pillars of smart city were declared, and there was a lot of work done on that. I think we should stick to the master plan and complete that. As you know, later on, certain areas were selected in the city for special development. And there was supposed to be a survey, and then at which time we said, okay, we will do either greenfield projects or brown projects like this, where you take an old part of the city and make it new. Good plans are there from big companies. We know those companies, large international companies. Large companies are doing the work. We can also see that electrical cable has gone underground. Lot of work is going on in the city on pavement. There is a school of thought that the work is not right, the road is too narrow. Why should you have such big wide pavements, things like that? Those issues are there. But what I would like to say to my friends is that let's give it a chance, because the people who designed this city, this part of the city, have done it as per certain international standards. You might say that why international standards on a road which has auto rickshaws, for example? How can we say international standard? And we have our own topography of ups and downs. Yes. But I would say that in the end, it will come out well, is what I feel. Most parts of the city will look good, will become very livable as such over a period of time. But we need to strengthen our public transportation, which is the most important part.
Yeah. As per the information from the central government, the smart city work in Visakhapatnam, the full funds was not not been utilized. It been 14% of the funds been used till now, and still we have a lot of work has to be done. And let's see like how what's their plans and everything. Because as I just like central government website, and the statistics say that only 14% of the funds when we used till now till date. Like,
well, in this case, that may be true, but I think now the funds have picked up. The expenditure has picked up.
yeah, the fund is allotted. The fund is allotted. The work's been done 14%.
I see. The fund allotted is only 14%.
No. I'm saying the central government gave 1,900 crores for Visakhapatnam smart city. Okay. In that, only 14% was spent till now.
That's the same thing. My understanding was correct what you said. You said the very little has been spent from the amount of money available. Yeah. Now there is a background to this, and we should all know that background, because after starting the smart city, the projects were going very quickly, in the sense that there was a lot of work being done for a few months. After which we had political change, and at that time, the entire time we lost about one year of time. Yeah. When no work was done at all. And then again it has restarted. My thing is, we have to be fair that they could not spend more because they did not have adequate time to do so.
That's true, because we have 1 year break because of COVID-19. So there is no chance to do any progress also. So
exactly. That's fine. But even before COVID-19, there was a break when on the spot flash audit was conducted during the political change, when everybody's work stopped throughout the state, all the major jobs stopped, and then very quickly, to their credit, they sent out a panel and got those jobs cleared and certified that they could continue. But by that time, COVID struck, workers went back, and the whole dramatic changes took place in our infrastructure building. So this was an issue. So just as a sake of fairness, I think we should give them some time to get up to speed once again, getting the labor back, getting the engineers back, getting work started on the streets. I can see them working very hard. Not that they are fooling off and not doing any work. They are doing a lot of work, and we must acknowledge that.
Yeah. Okay. Coming to that, I have one more.
Give me a second. I think my camera is looking more up than at me.
No, that's fine. You are on perfect screen.
Okay.
Yeah, like the role of the corporate in resolving civic issues and the challenges and opportunities. What do you think on that? The corporate role.
Of the corporate. See, finally, it is our good friends, the sanitary inspectors, their bosses, the water guy, the engineer who make sure the pipeline works well. All of them have enormous responsibility, and they all report to the corporation. Health, for example, the CMOH is there. They look after when it comes to malaria season, dengue. Now we are talking about COVID, but when in the cycle of life, there have been a lot of seasonal illnesses that attack a city, and the health department from the Gvmc, from the corporation, is responsible. So there is, of course, plastics collection and so on. There are huge challenges. And we can expect only Gvmc to get that thing done, and we should be knowledgeable enough to see what they are supposed to be doing. We should be following up as good citizens, not sit back and say, I won't vote, which you mentioned a little earlier. That's why there is such lower turnout, in the sense that there is lower turnout because people feel that their participation is of no importance. And if I don't go to vote, my neighbor will go, or my driver will go, and somebody will go, and I don't have to bother too much about it because it doesn't make a difference in my life. But in fact, it makes a difference in everybody's life.
Yes.
And even the most wealthy person in the city, and the person with the greatest needs, they all need our corporation to work well, and the city to be designed well, where VMRDA also comes into the picture.
Yes. So everyone should be participating in this because at some point of time they will also have some problem in the city. Then they'll be feeling that, oh, I missed to vote on that day, and like the people should feel that, okay, I have a right to ask anyone. When you vote, you'll have that right to ask anyone. Like, I don't mean that if you don't vote, there will be no right or something, but if you vote a person, you have more chances that, okay, I have voted for you, you should do this work and you should keep it clean. So that limit we can do it.
ఏంటంటే మొన్న ఓట్ గురించి అడిగారు, ఇప్పుడు మన అంతా ఇలాగే ఉన్నాయి చెత్త. We can ask definitely that it is good that they come around and ask, do people do visit homes? Canvassing has been all right, quite decent, and they have done a good job of reaching out to us. When they ask for votes, they should definitely deliver the goods afterwards.
Yes. Okay, so as you are a very like a nature lover, environmentalist, you always worry about the nature of Vizag. You go to the places, heritage places. Like, what is the prime reason heritage sites are being not taken care of by the government? What are the prime reason you think like they are left like that?
I would like to phrase it a little different from prime reason. There are, in this type of a thing, there are always a number of things. And if you give weightage to each one of them and say which is the thing, two top reasons would come out is that lack of awareness would come out on top. Whose lack of awareness? It is not lack of awareness of public alone. It is the lack of awareness of the officials in whose area that place is.
Okay.
Many senior officials have not seen the city with the different eyes, in the sense that this is our city, it has got historical value, nature is preserved in lesser and lesser space. We have to safeguard it for the standard thing, we have to safeguard it for our grandchildren and things. But that whole thing comes out of a certain dawning of some knowledge saying that our nature is fantastic. How to keep it that way? We went to the beach, something, we see a nice empty beach, we will put 100 shops in that beach. That I know it sounds like criticism, but that has been a bane of not only Visakhapatnam but almost every major seaside town in India. We overpopulate those areas, we over commercialize them. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah. So I also have a doubt, and a lot of the people have doubt. So Rushkonda was given a blue flag. So can you elaborate on this? Like, what Rushkonda beach is given is like status of blue flag?
Oh, I see. Okay. They elaborate on it. The system of the blue flag is a European organization, and anybody can read it. You give it. They certify that certain beaches around the world fall into certain parameters. There are some 30 odd parameters in which they do their rating, and they have a local consultant in India, which is another organization that looks after their tabulation, and some consultants who advise on how the beach is to be maintained. Therefore, the Indian government wanted to have this blue flag registration. In quotes, I have to say, I don't know what's big deal about getting that, because our beaches were just as good as any beach in South America or in Brazil or anywhere in the world, in South Africa or in Brazil, anywhere in the world, the best beaches, our beach was that good and better. But we have ourselves spoiled most of the beaches. Then to make one beach, Rushkonda Beach, compliant with the blue flag requirements was a Herculean task with lot of expenditure, which was unnecessary because it was always beautiful earlier, but it got spoiled because of some reason. We are glad we got it. But I feel always in heart of hearts, and I hate to say this, but probably it was not got the right way. Truly in spirit, we have not done what is required for a good beach. And there is still a lot of muck getting into Lawson's Bay, and as you know, all currents along the coast move northwards. So what you throw what comes out of the Norsen's Way Gedda will land up in Rishikonda beach within 2 or 3 days. So that's how fast they move. So they should have done a much better job in certification. They should have been more stringent. We should have asked for stringency. We, the people, did not ask. We got very happy that we got European certification and we kept quiet. But we have to work on that some more.
Okay. So, like, as Vizag is like very like a tourism thing, people love to come here, spend time from other northern states like Chhattisgarh, Kolkata, Orissa. All the states are coming here and enjoying their holiday and everything, right? So, what are the like any other suggestions and improvements on tourism like we can develop?
Yes, the fact is that even Orissa is enjoying equal quality of tourism, quantity and quality of tourism. So Kerala is enjoying coastal areas. Most coastal states are enjoying good boom in tourism. Were enjoying before COVID, and now it will recover again. But in Vizag's case, definitely we have to be very cautious. Every time that we talk about tourism, we have not thought it through in a professional manner. Most of our tourism exercises have been inadequate. I hate to say that, have been inadequate, and the thought which has not gone behind it as what to do. Tourists require very basic things. They need to feel safe. They need to have cleanliness. The tourist first time, Mr. and Mrs. Banerjee. Mrs. Banerjee wants to go to the toilet. She can't walk 10 kilometers or wait till she gets back to the hotel. So amenities are required over here. The Oriya man comes, he wants to have some food from his side. It's okay to give one restaurant or two restaurants for him. All of them are enjoying Vizag. Whatever they see, they don't mind. They accept Vizag as it is and they really enjoy. One thing they always make a comment if you talk to most of them who come from Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Bengal or Orissa, wherever, is that it is beautiful, but it is dirty. That part of it comes. The many parts of the beach which has become so crowded and so much litter is there, and the corporation are unable to handle it because there is a high level of tourism. I don't know whether you are aware the philosophy of tourism for Vizag should be different from other places, because Vizag is an eco-sensitive area by nature. We have the sea on one side, the beaches, then the low hills, then the agricultural land, and then the higher hills of 1,000 meters, say 3,000 feet or so, like Araku, the Eastern Ghats. All of them have got their own type of environment, and it can get very easily damaged. So we should the carrying capacity of the beach, the carrying capacity of say Araku should be gauged before we fill it with more people. And there is a model which you say that low per capita tourism, very high level of footfall is not suitable for ecotourism.
Yes.
We cannot put more people. We pay more but have less people. But there are certain areas which you can make it open for everybody. But the sensitive areas should be controlled. This type of a statement is a little undemocratic in some ways, that everybody should get a chance to go and enjoy. But the thing is that the Eastern Ghats, the tribals are there, they are suffering because of overload of arrival.
That happened for the new place, Vanajangi.
Correct. Vanajangi had happened. It is
the last 3 months was so crowded. There is a huge traffic jams was there. Like the locals can't move, can't travel, can't go out. Also, that is a issue. And the biggest thing is like these people are carrying all the food and everything, going on the hill, and they're throwing all this whatever the leftovers or the plastic or the bag covers. Everything was left there. Like they should, like when they carry to the uphill, they should bring back also, so that it didn't happen.
They should not only bring back their own, they should bring back others' kachra also. Like they should bring back both. They should bring back more. If they take 10 kgs, they should bring back 12 kgs. I think,
Yeah.
I just have some water.
I hope the state government tourism department will take care of all these new policies, like all the natural places, tourism places.
We have to be very clear in this place. There is a little bit of a vagueness in this area, in the sense that the Eastern Ghats, the only authority we should bother about there is the ITDA and the local panchayats.
Oh, okay.
Tourism has no locus standi there. Tourism is a APTDC is a corporation, the Tourism Development Corporation, which has the right, because it's a state government body, to go and put a resort in agency area.
Okay.
You know that these are all known as agency areas. Schedule 5, under a Schedule 5, they are protected agency areas. Now, how they have become called agency areas? Because during the British time, taxes were not collected there. The British government has appointed an agent to look after the collection of taxes from the Ghats, because it was so difficult to go there. And they could not even reach the timber and things like that. So it's a different type of. So our tourism department, APTDC, has got a right, but they also have a responsibility. Since they have been given a special right, their responsibility is keep at least your area clean and ensure that you don't have your rubbish get into the open. They are doing all right with that. It's not too bad. The issues are small operators who come and take an area, cut all the trees, put fencing around it and put up tents. That is the issue over here. And I think the ITDA is totally responsible for it. The project officer, the buck stops here on the chapter kada. The buck stops with the project officer, and he must take full responsibility, ensure that this whole industry is regulated. If you use your brains for 1 hour or 1 day or 2 days, you will manage to get you will get a formula how to control this. So, but that's another subject, and I can that subject. So we can talk about it at some other time. Coming back again to the elections, I hope it goes on.
My last question to you is, like, there's a lot of youngsters who are enrolled, and now tomorrow they're voting. So, what is the message for young voters in this GVMC polls?
Well, I think the young voters should look out. I mean, they have party loyalties, no doubt, young workers, but less loyal than perhaps other people. I would suggest that they look for a candidate who will work with the community. And how do you know they'll work? We can't say. We can't say how it will work. Perhaps it will work. Perhaps it will not. But one thing I have to say: if you have elected somebody, for God's sake, follow up with them that they do the good things for Visakhapatnam. Don't say, I've given you one cake here, a gift here, I'm elected you, and then I forget about you, you do what you want, you become the boss. They should never become the boss, whoever they are. The people have elected them, the citizens have elected them. We should be good citizens, they should be good corporators, they should do their homework, they should have knowledge. Not only knowledge of their ward, about their city, about their state, district, the state, the country, and parts of the world. They should acquire knowledge. They should not think, I am a corporator, so I know everything. You know, if they don't know everything, they have to be involved, they have to learn, they have to become better and better and better at their job and make our city proud.
That's good. Sir, it's been nice talking to you, and there's a lot of information you gave to us regarding the GVMC polls, the corporator role and responsibilities, the voter responsibilities, all this stuff. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for being part of with HelloVizag. We wish in more times we want to join with you, discuss with you on more issues of Visakhapatnam or any community thing. We were ready to be part of with you, and all the citizens of Vizag. Tomorrow is GVMC election day. Please go and vote for your best candidate. Whomever think is a good candidate, please go and vote. We request you to have more polling numbers. Voters also should come out. Youngsters, you have enrolled, and you should come out and cast your vote. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Uday, and thank you, HelloVizag.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, sir.